Hello, I'm Bruce Zimmerman, and this is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week. Now, it's still time to plant bulbs in your garden, and it certainly will be until the ground is crusty. And actually, you could probably get away with it even after the ground is crusty with frost, even down an inch. What you could do is, if you can break that crust and the soil below is still warm, and it usually is, you could still dig it up and, of course, plant bulbs. Now, they will be a little later than they normally are because they haven't had the warm soil and the time to root out to get going. So expect them to be about 7 to 14 days. It's usually around 10 to 12 days later than they will be normally. After their first year of bloom, look after them like you always would and give them food, deadhead, and make sure that you're looking after them. And next year they will come up right on time. Now, one of the things that I did this week was exactly that and got my planting of my bulbs done finally. You know, you're always too busy, so this is why I tell you how to bend the rules on that. You'll also find that a lot of garden centers are clearing out their spring flowering bulbs, so go for it. You just never know. If you do have good, well-drained soil in a sunny or warm location, then you can still plant lilies. Now, this has got to be the right conditions. Even though the ground may be cold and crusty, it has to be sandy or well-drained soils, because otherwise the lilies just degrade very quickly. Now, there is a group of bulbs that are known as the English border garden, and what they are is a gathering or a cluster of the same type of bulb, but at the same time they are different varieties. Now, think of daffodils, where all the colors are blended and matched together, but they are different kinds. That means there will be doubles, there will be semi-doubles, there will be short trumpets, frilly trumpets, long trumpets. There might even be a few fragrant ones in there. There's some split corolla ones, and they're all blended together to look attractive in a cluster. It's called the English border garden. You can do this with lilies. You can do this with daffodils. And one of the nicest ones from Van Hoff and Blocker is actually the one called Evening Breeze. And I like it because it's a little unusual. It's a bicolor split corolla and a daffodil, white with a lot of that pinky orange in the center with pink tulips. Going to be about 16 to 20 inches tall, and they're usually about mid-season. So there are different combinations. There is also pure white passion, which means you've got all the different types of daffodils, but they're all based on white. So I always recommend that one, because if you never know what color or where they're going to go, it'll give you a big show. But of course, white goes with everything. There are others. There is a combination called Tutti Frutti. Now, this one I like. One, the flowers are 16 inches tall. They're tulips. They're yellow, red, purple, lavender, white, and they all blend nicely together. So you're going to get a nice combination. There's also the one called Flare. This one is black tie affair, not flare, affair. And it is white with the dark purple, black tulips. So it's black and white. But they throw in this gorgeous, dark, hot pink. And it really stands out. Or if you're a little more traditional, you can wait and plant Dawn Till Dusk border blend, which is basically pink and the dark purple. So if you're more of a traditional, try the Perennial Delight mixture, which is basically red and white with a pale pinky red and white border on the petals, but also you're going to get pure red and you're going to get red and white. So good combinations. There is a double, and I should warn you about this one. It's gorgeous. Simply take all the different types of double tulips and go and mix them together. Red and whites, yellow and reds, lavenders, lavender and purple, and mix them all together into a border. Looks spectacular. I won't tell you about the blues simply because they're not really blues, but it's a gorgeous combination more of the lavender and purple. So I like all of those. So think of these things when you get to the garden center, and if they've still got some of these left, then get these collections because they really are spectacular. Now, we haven't talked about hyacinths, and I like hyacinths. There are doubles and there are singles, etc. But the thing to know about hyacinths is this. One, they are requiring a decent, good, organic, well-drained soil. Otherwise, they fade. And if we suddenly get a very warm spring, what happens is the flowers will come up and blast. That means the flower is very, very small. All the flowers open up at one time before it's really ready to open. And you get this little nub of color, and it looks horrendous. So plant them not in necessarily a hot location, but we do want well-drained organic soil. And this will give you success. Don't plant them too close, but plant them about 6 to 8 inches down and about 6 to 8 inches apart. They're generally all going to be about 10 inches tall. You know you're going to plant them at odd numbers, but there are great colors. There's Blue Jacket. It's been around forever. City of Harlem, been around forever. The Firelights has been around forever, as well as Delft Blue. There are others. There are the doubles, like Hollyhock, which is a red, and Eros, which is a bicolor. Soleil, Madame Soleil, double white. So you've got you're getting the blues, the purples, the reds, the pinks. You'll get some oranges. You'll get a little yellow in there. And you'll get some very soft blues. So you can go and mix these together either to give you a bit of a contrast, or you can plant them together. I strongly recommend that you do not plant these close to where you're going to be sitting or viewing in large clumps, simply because they're fragrant, and the fragrance can be overpowering. I know that my wife cannot handle it. When we go to a flower show and they forced a lot of hyacinth, she will zoom her way through that part to areas where there isn't spring bulbs in fragrance, because it is so overpowering. It's just her, but I do understand, and I do relate sometimes when you get that many hyacinths forced all at once in an area, in an enclosed area with less circulation than you do outdoors, you're going to have an overpowering fragrance that some people may not be able to handle. So judiciously cut them singly into a vase, or if you want, there are hyacinth jars that you can actually force and get hyacinths that have been forced, or you can do the work, you see, and try that as well. Go to your garden centers, see what they've got. See if they've got hyacinth jars. See if they've got them prepared, and the hyacinth needs to be cooled, okay, and prepared so that it'll just pop up in the hyacinth jar. Makes it nice and easy. Also makes a nice gift for someone as well. And it's only one single bulb, so it's usually not too overpowering in fragrance for a home. But definitely a touch of spring being given to that person. A thought for those of you who are considering maybe Valentine's Day present. maybe Mother's Day. Well, Mother's Day might be a little late, but in any case, a late winter, early spring gift for a hostess, etc. If you'd like to look at more, go to your garden center, take a look, see what they've got, and probably get them on sale. Remember, if you can get a hyacinth jar, it's good forever. I still got mine. I'm Bruce Zimmerman, and this is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week.